Hi there, Carrie here. This is for those of you who are trying to prep for the RPR, well, for the written knowledge test. Could be any of the written knowledge tests for this particular video that has information I want to share with you that I think is powerful. The group that everybody's talking about that I did the video, I did is a live Zoom on prepping for the RPR written. The reason Part of the reason that that was so powerful was that I had just taken the test like that morning. And although your mind just like flushes all the material out the minute you hit submit, as I was going over questions and being reminded of things, it was a debriefing. It brought things back to the surface. Like, I don't remember the question, but there was questions about blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. And realizing that for that particular test, it's not grammar, spelling intensive. So don't kill yourself focusing on that stuff. And they may change the test the next time they do it. I have no idea. But that was not the test I was expecting. I passed it. I'm happy for that. I had to take it because I was being certified as a certified reporting instructor, and that was one of the requirements to have taken and passed the RPR written within 7 years. Well, I passed the written back in 1978, and then I passed the written for the merit back in 1980. And then the RDR, I don't know, sometime after that, but hadn't taken any of that stuff in the last 7 years, so I had to take it again. Here's what I want to share with you. I mentioned it to that group, but most of them were already in the process of they were going to be taking it within the next 10 days. So form groups, form study groups use this post to connect with other people who are getting ready to take it in the next cycle. Form a study group. And that sounds horrible, doesn't it? But here's what I want you to think about doing. Each one of you, if you have study material for whatever test you're studying for, pick out 5 questions or pick out a subject area. If it's grammar, technology, ethics, professional practices, pick something to bring to the group. Here's why people don't like groups. Because first of all, because we choose court reporting because leave me alone. Just let me do my court reporting thing and leave me alone. I don't want to have the wrong answer. Don't ask me what I think because ethically I can't tell you, but I wouldn't want to anyway because what if I said the wrong thing and then I get judged and I don't like that and leave me alone. I swear that's part of why a lot of us come to court reporting. We just want to do this perfect thing, that we can't do perfectly, but we want to try and we want to do it alone without anybody criticizing us. And that's kind of still the object of the game. Can I turn my transcript in and have it be so beautiful that nobody can criticize it? I just saw a post recently about somebody having seen or heard of or been exposed to a new reporter's transcript that was replete with errors that literally I think that reporter said it made her cringe, and I know that feeling, and I have been the reporter in the jury trial when the exhibit is shown up on the board and it's an excerpt from a transcript, and I'm sitting there going, oh God, I hope it's not mine. Oh God, I hope I didn't make a glaring, stupid error. And this is after 45 years. And I do everything I can do to make sure that that transcript is never going to be put up on somebody's board where somebody's going to say, oh my God, look what that court reporter did. I don't want to be that person. And if you're a new reporter, you shouldn't either. And don't be so worried about making more money that you don't pay somebody to cover your ass by proofreading your stuff before it goes out because you don't know all the things that you don't know. That's the danger of being a new reporter. Just accept the fact. I don't know. Someday I'll know, but I don't know what I don't know. How could you know what you don't know? You don't know. So find somebody to help you. But back to studying. I love my tangents. Back to studying. We don't want to be in a group because we don't want to be the person in the group who knows nothing. It's like, oh God, we were in this study group and there was Carrie, and it's like, she couldn't contribute anything because she didn't know anything. She just sat there quiet. Um, and that doesn't help the whole group, but it sure helps Carrie when Carrie is the one that, I don't know, I don't know enough to bring something to the table, but I know enough to know I need help. So I show up for the group, and as I'm sitting there not knowing anything, and I'm listening to everybody else share what they know, I'm learning. I am supersonic, fast speed learning. And here's what's happening from a neuroscience point of view. So and so over there mentioned something, and you sit there going, oh my God, I didn't know that. That is a story that just happened. And it's a trigger that just got laid down in you because you emotionally panicked for a moment, realizing something you didn't know. But guess what? If that thing comes up on the test, that trigger will be hit again. And the memory of that moment of so and so knowing that thing will come back to you, just as if you'd studied it as much as she did. It will become yours. You will have now been exposed to a whole lot more things than you were before you got brave enough to join a study group. And for those of you in the study group who know everything, don't be bad on the person that is not knowing anything. Just kind of have your heart go out to them. You've been there. You have been there at some point in your life. You were the person in the circle who didn't know everything. And you may never have entered a circle again because of that feeling until you knew everything. And then you're brave enough to enter the circle. Work together, become a cohesive group. What I tried to share with that Zoom group is that, look at it this way. If all of us in this group could collectively take that test together, we would pass because everybody in this group has something to contribute, even if you think you don't. Everybody putting their collective knowledge together would pass every single test in front of us, every written test. Machine test, skills test, different animal. Written knowledge test, stuff you can study for, we got that. The other thing I want you to realize is that as you're being exposed to conversations and people talking about different things in a group, those are memories being laid down. And everything from the beginning of your time on this planet, everything you have ever been exposed to, heard, felt, seen, touched, done, all of that is recorded in your subconscious. Wow, everything. You have access to it if and when you can get to a state that's as open as it was when it was being laid down, which is why hypnosis is so powerful. But there are also ways during a test when you can allow that channel to open back up, to access the stuff that, I know this. I know I've seen this. Have I ever seen this before? Yeah, I have. You have. I would guarantee that 98% of everything on every test, written test, you have seen before. There may be stuff that comes up that you don't know. Guess what? You're going to after you finish this test, because the first thing I always do is I write down frantically after the test all the things that I didn't know. I go look them up. And it's like, oh, I did know that. Or, oh my God, I didn't know that, but now I do. And I will carry it with me again forever. During a test, always go through the test answering the ones that you know you know. I mean, not a shadow of a doubt. Answer those. You come to something that you're not sure about this, skip it. There's a way on that test, you just skip that one, and it'll bring you all the ones at the end that you didn't answer. And then, so go through the whole test, answering the ones that you know. Then go, because you never know on test question 3, you skip it, and oh, lo and behold, on test question 50, there's something that triggers your memory, or there's the word that I wasn't sure it was spelled right, but look at that. That's how it's spelled. Now I know that one of the choices on question 3, which one of these words is misspelled? Well, it's not that one because I know it's spelled correctly because I found it in the test. There are answers to questions if you keep going. And as you come back then to the second pass and give it your best effort at really reading the question. What is the question really asking me? And then out of the choices that I have, which ones can I eliminate immediately? What am I left with? Which one of those makes more generic sense across the board? Something I realized, even though I tell myself, read the question completely, the very first question on the test, when I went back for the fourth pass to read all of them all over again, the very first question was wrong because I had read it wrong. I had read it fast, looking for a fast answer, and it's like, I know what an ASCII is. I know what a TXT is. That wasn't what the question was, Carrie. The question was something like, what file format does Adobe use? Well, it's not TXT and it's not ASCII, Carrie. You're so smart. It's PDF. And then I had to sit there going, yeah, of course, because when I'm turning in a worksheet, I've got to open that PDF up in a way that I can fill it out. I can't just open it. And how do I open it so I can fill it out? I have to select open it in Adobe. So for me, that's how I had to go through that whole scenario to make sure that I read the question properly and then I could connect up something in real life that told me, yeah, okay, I know that. I know that. And I'll leave you with the four, if I can remember this, the four steps of knowledge. Because and this works for skills tests also. There are four steps to mastery. We start off on the bottom rung where we don't even know what we don't know. We just, I don't know, there's a machine in front of me. What am I supposed to do with that? There's a theory. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. For a lot of us, we got into court reporting because we didn't know what we didn't know. Had we known, we might have chosen another path, but that's another video. We don't know what we don't know. We take one step up, and all of a sudden, we know what we don't know. Like we can see how much ahead of us there is still yet to learn. We kind of bring on a moment of humility because we don't know. And then we keep going and we step up to the next level, which is not completely knowing what we think we know. Knowing we have a base, but we have so much more to master. The top level is knowing what we know, completely knowing, having mastered all the steps in between. The mastery is knowing what you know. But even from that step in life, there are those elements that hit you when you realize, oh, I didn't know that. So there still are things I don't know. And that's okay. Even in that level of mastery, which is where we think we are when we get certified and get out in the field. Because then it's like you had those four steps, and now you're just on another new set of four steps. And you're going to master that also. You're going to get always, if you're a conscientious reporter, you're going to want to know what you don't know. It makes you powerful. It makes you valuable in the marketplace. It sustains your position in the field. Love you guys. Hope this has helped. Form a group, help each other, pass the damn tests, get out there and get certified and make some money. Love you.